welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to create an iOS plugin to request app ratings and reviews for the Godot game engine. So let's get started. So I have created one cheat sheet sort of thing. So here you can see that. Now to create an iOS plugin, obviously you would require macOS. Then you will need to install Python. You will need to install Xcode, which you get from Apple App Store. And for scones you would first need to install homebrew, and once you do that, just open your terminal and run this command. So brew install scones, and this should install scones for you. Then we have to create one folder, name it whatever you feel like. I have just named it as my workspace. Inside that we will create one folder as plugin. Okay, so here as you can see, I have already created one other folder. This was my practice before showing you the actual demo, because we will be copying a lot of boilerplate code. Okay, so first create one folder. Inside that you will have to create a plugin folder. Then you will have to open your terminal and cd to your plugin folder which we have just created, and then you will have to run this command. Now at the time of this recording video I am using Godot 4.2, but if you are using some higher version, make sure you change this particular version number. So just clone this particular thing, and this will take lot of time. I already have this in my practice folder, so I'll just copy it and paste it inside plugin folder. Then once the Godot folder has been cloned for you, you will have to cd to your Godot folder inside your terminal, and then you will have to run this particular command. So this will generate the iOS headers for you. Now I already have this the Godot folder which I am copying already have that iOS headers, so I won't be running this particular command again, but you will have to run this command again. Then just open Xcode, click on create new project. Here select iOS, select static library, click next, and you will have to give some product name. I will just give it as InApp review. You will have to select your team, give some organization identifier, and for language select Objective-C. So I'll quickly select my team, and then you will have to click on next. So I have selected my team and I have clicked on next. Then you will again have to redirect to your plugin folder before creating your iOS static library. So you will have to save it inside your plugin folder. I'll just click on create, so it will create all these files for us. Now I will be copying a lot of code from my practice project which I have created. So this is my practice project. I'll get the header module, this one, and this one. I'll just open it inside VS Code. Okay, so firstly we have to create this module header file. So our this project name is InApp review, right? So I'll just copy that. I'll just right click, new file, header file, next, InApp review underscore module. Okay, and I'll click on create. So this will create the header file for me. Then I have to create an Objective-C file. I'll select Objective-C file. Again I'll click on next, I'll click on next, I'll click on create. Then I'll change the extension to .mm because we want Objective-C++. Similarly I'll do this for this file as well. Then I'll copy this particular code, arithmetic underscore module header file. So we have to paste it inside InApp review module. So I'll just copy this InApp review. I'll replace this. Now this is all boilerplate code. Even if you don't understand, that's fine, because even I don't understand this. Everywhere like during my practice I have named my static library as arithmetic, but here I'll just name it as InApp review because that's what we are using. Then we have to create this particular file. Again I'll copy paste it and I'll paste it over here. Then again I'll copy InApp review, and here I'll just paste it over here as well, but I'll make sure I is capital. Then over here as well, over here as well. And then I'll copy this, I'll paste it over here as well. Okay, then we will copy this header file. This is our header file, right? So I'll just copy this header file and I'll paste it over here. Again, instead of arithmetic we have to write in-app review, right? So but everything should be in capital. In-app review. I'll copy this, I'll paste it over here as well. Then again I'll copy this. We don't require speech, we don't require AV foundation, but what we require is so I'll go to this. We require StoreKit header file, so I will add it over here. Okay, then again we require in-app review over here. I'll just copy this in-app review. We require it over here, but I should be capital. I'll copy this, I'll paste it over here, over here, over here, over here, as well as over here. And here we have to change the name. I'll just name it as show in-app review. If you want to write the whole thing, that's fine as well. In-app review, not preview, review. Okay, so this is done. Next we have to create so we have to copy this, not this, but this code inside our Objective-C++ file. So but we'll have to, I'll just show you, because we'll have to delete a lot of things. So firstly, I don't need this arithmetic helper. Okay, I don't need this, I don't need all this stuff. We won't be initializing a helper over here as well. Okay, I don't need this. This is deinitialized, this is fine, this is fine. Okay, I don't need this, all this stuff as well. Okay, so firstly what we will have to do is, again instead of arithmetic we will have to write in-app review over here as well. I should be capital. In-app review as well as in-app review over here. This should be in-app review over here as well as over here, then over here as well as over here. If you want, you can add signals as well, but I'm not sure if we really require any signals or not. But here this is how you add a signal. Like if you want to send some data from a native iOS library, iOS plugin to Godot side, you can make use of this particular signal. But honestly, in my opinion, this signal seems unnecessary for this particular use case. Now I will copy this particular name, show in-app review. I'll paste it over here as well as over here. Now I will copy some other code as well, because I keep forgetting the code. This is very difficult for me, though I don't have any experience with Objective-C++. So I'll just copy this over here. Also we'll have to write in-app review over here as well as over here. Now we will have to write the implementation for it. For that I'll go to our this particular file, and I'll just copy paste this code. Okay, so hopefully, yeah, everything seems okay to me. Use of undeclared identifier, I'm not sure if this is necessary or not. Let me quickly check the code and come back to you. Okay, so there is one more place in which I forgot to replace arithmetic with in-app review, so I'll quickly replace it over here as well. Okay, so I think that should make it okay. So this looks fine to me now. Okay guys, so I have updated the code. You can just copy paste the code. Hopefully this code will work, but in case if there is any issue, I'll come back to this later on. But so basically what we are doing is that we are getting hold of our Windows scene, and here we are using our StoreKit's sk store review controller request review in scene and passing our Windows scene. Now you have to be very careful, because you can only call this particular app ratings review 3 times in 365 days, like 3 times in a year. So you can't call this multiple times because it is very annoying, and the state of like how many times this has been called is managed internally by iOS, so we don't have to worry about it. Okay, again go back to our documentation. So we are done with this. So first we'll go to in-app review and go to over here, select the minimum deployment target. I think 16 is fine for me, so select whatever you feel is appropriate. Then go to build settings, search for header search path, and you will have to go to your project, go to Godot folder, go to platform, iOS, right click on any of this file. I'll right click, get info, and I'll just copy paste this particular URL inside header search path. So I'll just copy this, I'll click on this plus button, I'll paste it over here. Then I will just quit Xcode. I'll go back to my Xcode project inside our file explorer. Just select this .xcode proc file and drag and drop over here. Then take in-app review, select all this file and drag and drop one folder ahead. Then you will get this in-app review empty folder. Just delete that particular folder. Now why do we have to do this, even I am not sure, but if you don't do this you will face issues later on. Then we have to create this .gdip file. So I already have this, so copy this .gdip file inside your plugin folder. Okay, not here, inside our plugin folder. Okay, so here you can see, now you might not be having this. So firstly you can create an empty file called in-app review.gdip. Okay, I'll just rename this. Then I'll open it over here, and here we don't require speech framework, but what we require is we require this, right, StoreKit framework. So I'll just copy this and here I'll paste it. Okay, and I'll remove this. We don't require AV foundation as well, we don't require any permission as well. And here we will have to replace all the names. So I'll just copy this in-app review again. Okay, and I'll paste it over here. I'll remove this, I'll paste it over here, I'll remove this, I'll paste it over here, and as well over here, but I should be capital. Okay, so this is done. I'll just close everything. Then we have to create an sconstruct file. So for that I have given you this particular URL from which you can copy a sample sconstruct file. Most of it would remain the same. You will have to make few changes which I will tell you shortly. So I already have this sconstruct file. I'll copy it and paste it inside my plugin folder. Then I will open it inside VS Code. Firstly search for arithmetic. Wherever you find arithmetic we'll have to replace with in-app review. So I'll just copy paste this name again. Okay, I will have to replace it with in-app review. Search for arithmetic. Here is also few files, so I'll replace it with in-app review. And one important thing is you might see over here, you might see 10 10 10 as well as over here 10. If you remember, inside Xcode we have set the minimum iOS deployment target. So whatever you have selected, I had selected 16, so write 16 over here, over here, over here, as well as over here. Okay, once this is done, let's see what's the next step. The next step is to create a bin folder. So I'll quickly create that folder inside our plugin folder, and then we'll have to run this particular command, but instead of arithmetic we'll have to write in-app review. So go to your plugin folder and paste this command, but instead of arithmetic write in-app review. In-app review. In case if there is any error with our code, this will let us know. So what basically this does is it will create a .a file inside our bin folder. So okay, so everything is perfect. So if you see our bin folder, it created a .a file for us. The next step is we will have to create a Godot project. So I'll simply open Godot engine and create a Godot project and come back. So as you can see, I have created my Godot project. I have created it outside the plugin folder. So here you can see this is my Godot project. Now let's see what's the next step is. So firstly we will have to create a folder called iOS. So inside Godot project I'll create one folder called iOS. Then here I'll create another folder called plugins with an S. Okay, then we'll have to go to our plugin folder. We'll have to copy this .gdip file and paste it inside iOS plugins of our Godot game. I have pasted it. Then go to plugin folder again, go to bin, copy this .a file, go to your Godot project iOS plugins and paste it again. And here we'll have to rename this to InApp review, not this one but the .a file. So I'll just copy this name and I'll paste it InApp review.a. Then we'll have to go to our Godot project, go to project, export, add iOS, click on this fix import. Then you have to add your App Store team ID. Now to get your App Store team ID, I will add it later. So to get your App Store team ID, you can go to this particular URL. It will tell you how to add your own App Store team ID. Then we have to add our bundle identifier. So I will add it as my awesome Godot game. Typically it is your company name dot your game name. Okay, but I think for now it is fine. My awesome Godot game. And here inside plugins I'll select this InApp review plugin. Okay, so I have done this. Then I'll enter the App Store ID team ID later on. I'll create one 2D scene. I'll create one button inside that scene. I'll double click on this. I will just expand this button. I'll just name it as click me. Then inside theme overrides, font size I have made it as 32. I'll quickly save this. I will run it again so that we have our root scene being created because later on we should not face any issues. And I will attach one script to it as well. So I'll just attach one script. I'll go to our button and I will attach the press signal to this as well. Then I will just copy paste some code which I have already written for my practice. So I'll go to my awesome, no, not this one, node2d.gd. Okay, so firstly I'll copy this part. I'll paste it over here, and here instead of arithmetic we'll have to write InApp review. So I'll paste it everywhere. We don't have any signal attached, so I'll just remove that particular code. Over here as well, over here, but here I should be capital, sorry, I should be capital, and over here as well I should be capital. Okay, and on button press we just have to call the method name. Now I don't remember what method name I had given. So what I'll do, I'll just go to my plugin, InApp review, and here we should have that method name. So our method name was show InApp review. So I'll just go to Xcode, and inside on button press I'll just write InApp review dot, and the method name was show InApp review, and here I'll just add it as a function. Okay, I think this should be fine. Okay, so I have entered my App Store team ID, and now I will just click on export project. I have created one empty folder called my awesome iOS. It is outside the plugin folder. If you don't want to create it, that's fine. The reason why I have created it, once I export it, it will generate a tons of file for me. So I don't want to get confused. That's why I have created this. Now just be patient. This exporting might take a little bit of time. Okay guys, so here you can see my export is complete. Now suppose in case if your export does not complete and you get an error that this profile does not have in like this particular capability inside your console, because that issue could happen when if you haven't paid Apple $99. I don't know why we need to pay $99 for this, because I'll tell you why. Like for my own account, App Store account, I have not paid, like Apple account, I haven't paid Apple $99, and when I was trying to export from Godot, it was throwing me an error. Then I asked my friend's app store team ID. I have entered that. Now when I try to export, it works perfectly fine. I don't know why. When I try to create a native iOS project and I try to use my own sign in and capabilities, in for which I haven't paid $99 to Apple, it works perfectly fine. I don't know why it is throwing an issue on Godot. Maybe I'm missing something. Do let me know in the comments. So here you can see that export has been completed, and then here inside my awesome iOS, just double click on .xcode proj. It will open your Xcode project inside Xcode, and here you will have to select the team. Now make sure you select the same team, like just click on this, click on targets and click on sign in and capabilities, and here inside team you will have to select the same team for which you have entered the app store team ID. In case after selecting your team, if you are facing any error, make sure you just uncheck this automatic manage signing, check it again, select your team again, and most probably your issue would be resolved. So I'll quickly select my team, run my app on a real device, don't run it on an simulator, and I will show you the output. This is the output.